What's up, guys? If you don't already know, my name is Courtney and this is my YouTube channel, CJane Outdoor. Today I am at a new location once again. I've been doing a lot of new investigating locations. I am at the Thurston Howell Trail System, which is a trail system right between Kenosha County and Racine County. And it's basically right on a highway here. And then the trail system takes you in. It follows along Pikes Creek, which is connected to Pikes River, which is connected to Lake Michigan. You know how those river systems, lake systems work, the interwebs. We're gonna go see if we can't get to the water and if we can't find a few spots to fish. I did see some ponds as well, but the trails don't exactly lead up to the water. So we're gonna see if we have access or if we can find access to the water and get some fishing done. So with that being said, let's go exploring and let's go fishing. On a completely separate note here, this is absolutely stunning. This is a beautiful field prairie with a path. The weather is great today, at least for me. It's about 75 degrees and overcast. I enjoy the weather when it's not insanely hot, so this is wonderful to me. Some of you may know I am a photographer by trade, and this may be a possible location for photography in the future because this is... I didn't wear long pants. I did put on bug spray, but I just, you know, don't want to get any... Oh, being smacked in the face. Don't want to get any poisonous plants either, but trying to find a way in is hard. Found a little bit of a game trail. So we're gonna follow it and see if I can't make my way down to the water this way. This looks like a pretty heavily used game trail too. Good thing I put on bug spray. Aha! Doesn't look that deep down there. Oh, this is one of the ponds. I made it. I made it. I made it through. Sweet. I wonder if this is even good fishing at this little pond here. I'm gonna get some sort of rash. But we made it. Let's see what happens. Down to one of these little ponds down here. I found a game trail up that way that kind of led me down. I don't see anywhere else. So there's a couple of ponds. This is one of them, according to the map. And we're gonna cast out into the middle. I'm just gonna use a bobber and a night crawler today because number one, it's midday, and number two, I have no clue if there's even fish in this pond. You can't see this pond from the road. The only reason I know this pond is here is because of maps. So very, very well might not have any fish in it, but we'll find out. Let's do it. Today I'm going to be fishing with a bobber and night crawlers. It's midday, so fish aren't necessarily biting like crazy right now to begin with. And night crawlers are a safe bet when it comes to fishing for a variety of fish. I've caught bass, bluegill, northern, crappie, catfish, bullhead, all that on night crawlers. So I'm going to show you today how to put a night crawler on your jig head, which is what I'm going to use. You could use a regular hook too. I'm going to use a jig head because I want to use a bobber and I want to have a little bit of extra weight. I'm going to use a jig head. This way, you know, we've got a good gauge on the depth. So I rip my worm in half. Typically I rip my worm in half. I like to use the head portion of the worm because it tends to hold up better than the tail, but the tails work as well. You know, they both catch fish. So you're going to start by getting your jig head. You're going to put the hook center through, like you're threading a needle through a straw, right? You're going to push that up all the way, and then you see this little portion here is called a bait keeper. My helper hook, I call it. You want to push your worm up past that, and that's going to help hold your worm on. And that's, you know, got a good amount of tail on it. And it will wriggle around and it will get the fish's attention. Next, I'm going to show you how to use a bobber. So this is the type of bobber I'm going to use today. There are several different kinds of bobber, but this one is inexpensive. You can usually buy them in packs and they work well. You'll see on the bottom there's a hook, and on the top, I don't know if you can see that very good, there's a hook. So you want the red to be towards your bait, right? Now, however deep you want the bobber to let your bait go, I'm gonna only try a few inches right now because I don't know how deep this pond is. And we're gonna wrap it around the bottom hook, and then we're gonna wrap it around the top hook, right? So I've got about a foot, okay? About a foot of line that's gonna go under the water. Okay, so I tried a few times to cast out past this weed bed, but pretty much the entire pond was weeds, and I just couldn't get my bobber in a spot that seemed logical. So I packed up and decided I was going to try to access Pikes River directly, and I ended up literally on the road, and I found a spot. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is crazy, but I crossed the street. I'm parked over there. I crossed the street, and there's a way down to the actual river. Right now, we're just going to follow the rocks down to the water, which is crazy because Pikes Creek is easy to get to in every other way, shape, and form. I choose the hardest path possible to get there. Because why not? You know? Because why not go on an adventure? Here's under the bridge. If I could be a troll, I would live here. I'm not a troll, but if I was, this would be it. This would be the spot. Being attacked by crickets. You gotta be very careful and test all your rocks before you stand on them. I want to be the only one to fish here under this bridge in the river. This is why. Woohoo! This is cool. This is Pikes River. Let's do it. So stoked to be underneath the bridge fishing. Talk about urban fishing. There we go. Now I can reel it to the middle. Oh, that was a good hit, whatever that was. Oh, and I got him. He's little, but I got him, whatever he is. We have a green sunfish. Gotta love it. As long as we're not getting smoked. All right, so I want to show you something now that I got this fish here. So on most sunfish, you see how when I touch him, his back spine's up? You see that? That's to make them look bigger, and these are actually pretty sharp. They can stick you and make you bleed. So the correct way to remove a panfish or any other smaller fish that you're not going to lip, or, you know, obviously don't lip fish with teeth, but so you're going to take your hand and you're going to go like this and run it down, because you can hold these spines down and they can't poke you this way, right? And then you can remove the hook, maybe, possibly, right? And now you don't have, he's got a little mouth because he's a green sunfish. Now you don't have these spines because they lie flat, you see? So that's how you get a panfish off the hook. Let's try that again. See what else is under there. Other than some green sunfish, right? But what I don't love is this new quick trigger thing. Maybe I just don't know how to use it. Oh, got one. Something bigger. Something bigger from over there. See? We got ourselves a largemouth bass. All right, so what we're gonna do, same thing with, you can do the same thing to a bass if it's smaller. You could run your hands down because they also have spines. Largemouth bass obviously have really large mouths. Oh wait, hold on, largemouth bass obviously have really large mouths, so you can always lip a bass, which is probably one of the easier ways to do it with a bass, but they have spines as well. So if you get a smaller one that you want to grab, make sure you just run your fingers down to hold the spines down so you don't get, nothing bad happens to you. But all right, so there's bass over there. It must get deeper over there. Maybe the rocks end over there. So we're going to go that way. See if we can't catch any more bass. What do you think? Urban fishing. Sometimes we reel against the current. Like that little hole looking area over there. There we go. Oh, damn. And we got a bite. It hit hard, but it's not that big. It was crazy how hard this hit. And we have, oh my gosh, he hooked himself. Look at that. I don't even know how that happened. All right, well, let's save your life, pal. Boop. Anyways, that hole over there does look promising, so we'll try again. Got one. Nice. This is a little bit bigger of a largemouth bass. Oh, jeez. He is not happy with me, though. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice, you know, for fishing in this little river creek area. It's a nice size largemouth. Definitely not happy with me. I could tell you that much. Okay, so I walked to the opposite end of the bridge this time, and I was letting my bobber float the bait downstream, reeling it in a little bit here and there, and I got a really nice bite. And unfortunately, I end up losing him. What looked like it was probably the best catch of the day. And it's all my fault because I did not set my hook well. Let this be a lesson to you. Womp, womp. Got one. Just a bluegill. Green sunfish. Just a green sunfish. Oh, it went through your eye, pal. Hate when that happens. Sorry, dude. Definitely don't want you getting hooked in the eyeball, man. Oops. No eyeball hooking. Alright guys, that's all for today's urban fishing video. I really enjoyed the views on this trail system, even though I couldn't really fish the ponds all that well. I enjoyed fishing the spot I found under the bridge on Pike River. I hope you guys come back for more. Please like and subscribe, and God bless.